to do when your house is not selling. Hello, everybody. My name is Roxanne Govari with Pemberley Realty, along with my partner, Santiago Guerin.
Hello, everyone. Pretty good topic today. Very interesting. Why is your home sitting? You know, what are some tips and tricks to get your home sold? And yeah, let's get right to it.
Well, we are certainly in challenging times right now that we're facing,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And with the challenging times that we are facing, uh, pricing the home properly really, really makes a difference.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
But then sometimes in this market, you price the home correctly, and even then, the home does not sell,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
right? And it used to be that the average days on market was like 5 days before it went under contract, and
Mm-hmm.
that was the COVID time,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And now I think it's interesting because I hear from all walks, all areas, all everybody else, and there's one thing that I'm hearing consistently, and that is 7 months. 7 months is what it took to actually get a home sold, which is a very long time,
That is a long time. Seven
right?
months seems like a long time. Yeah. Are you
seven
talking
months
about like once you go live on the market, or as soon as when you basically start the process, like getting pictures done, all that, or just from when you list
No,
it to
from listing it to actually getting it sold and closed.
wow.
Average seems to be 7 months.
Okay. Okay. So you're also including the escrow times as well, too, right? Okay.
Yes, I do. I am including the escrow time,
But
which
it's
to
still
be
a long
fair,
time.
escrow, average escrow taking about a month, right?
Yeah.
30 days. So that still is taking about 6 months
6 months.
for selling a home, which is a
Yeah.
long, long time, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, I think if you look back, you we went into COVID,
Yeah.
right? And we came out of COVID and COVID took three years, and then we came out of COVID, and we are looking at prices pre. So if you're looking at prices in, let's say, 2019, which was pre-COVID, right? And then now you're looking at 2025. So we're looking at a 6 year period, which is not it's not like a 15-year span of time,
Yeah.
but still it's a good span of time, 6 years.
Yeah.
And the average price that you're looking at, the homes have either gone up by about 40% or by about 50%.
Yeah.
And normally you're looking at a span of 15 to 20 years to see that much appreciation. And now we are looking at that much appreciation in a 6 year span.
Yeah.
And that is a lot.
Yeah. It is a lot of money. And what can you tie this with homes not like selling now? Like, do you think people are still expecting that, like that their home is valued at a, you know, very high price, or do you think that the market is finally changing from that, you know, that big, high rise in prices during this last couple years, that it's
Mhm.
kind of, sitting basically on that?
I think we are looking at the market basically shedding a lot of feather, shedding a lot of skin, whatever you want to call it.
Mm. Yeah.
The market is shedding value,
Yeah.
right? The
Hmm.
market is shedding value, and you can totally see it in the way if it takes 6 months to sell a house, that shows you the market is shedding value. Now, we just simply do not have as many buyers in the market as we used to.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
that is definitely true. There's not as many buyers, but also it is true that the buyers are very value conscious. So if they're looking at a property and they're seeing that that property is still priced at last year's prices, then
Yeah.
they're just going to not go for it. And
Yeah.
the other interesting part, which I have had this conversation with sellers for many, many years, and they
Mhm.
say, well, we're willing to take less. Why is nobody making an offer? Just why don't they just make an offer?
Yeah.
And and that's not the thought process of a buyer. A
Hmm.
buyer wants to make an offer on a house that's priced well. A buyer is motivated by going after a house that's priced well. If they feel that it is overpriced,
Yeah.
there is so many feelings that come into the buyer's psyche
Yeah.
that is just going to basically make them skeptical, make them not to move on things.
Yeah. I mean, especially with I mean, high interest rates, people, I mean, and affordability too. It's kind of hard for a buyer to just, you know, submit an offer like that. So,
Yeah, exactly.
and
Exactly. So
yeah.
So pricing the property properly is really really important, and also it used to be that if the home had any type of blemish,
Hmm.
then it didn't matter because there were so many investors interested. Prices are going up, homes are appreciating in value, so people are just not as picky.
Yeah.
Now
Hmm.
that we're in a market that is, you could argue it's a depreciating market,
Yeah.
that's not the case anymore. You've got to make sure that you price the home um, right on the dot, or you could even say price the home at below market value. Like, for example, if the house is worth million one, then you really have to put that house on the market for a million, not a million one,
Yeah.
because what's going to move the property is being below market value.
Yeah.
You've got to entice um, the buyer to, even here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that right now the market behaves very much like it did in 2009,
Yeah.
right? And from 2009 until the bottom of the market, it took another 3 years. 2012 is the bottom of the was the bottom of the last market. And
Yeah.
if you think about it, from 2009 to 2012 is a 3-year period.
Yeah.
So if we have another 3 years, and I don't have the crystal ball, and not every market repeats itself exactly as it did the last time, right? So we can't say, oh, for the next 3 years, we're going to see a market that's going to be declining. We can't say that. I can't say that. Nobody can say that. But if we say that, okay, this market does not show signs of wanting to appreciate as quickly as it used to, then in the psyche of the buyers, they may say this market is depreciating.
Yeah. Hmm.
So if I'm buying a house at a price that is a bargain compared to next year, if it's going down by 10%, then I still am making a good decision.
Yeah. Hmm.
But if the house is maybe even a good price for today, but by the comparisons and standards of next year about this time, I'm paying too much for it, then why should I buy it? Why should
Yeah.
I wait a year and then buy?
And what would you tell the sellers? Because I mean, it's a kind of hard conversation to have with a seller, telling them to have to come in maybe a little bit below market value. What are some reassuring things that you can tell the seller? Like, is there a benefit? Like, what's the best, like, why would this be the right thing to do?
Well, that is a very good question.
Yeah.
And it's a question of lifestyle, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
Like, if you are, what's your motivation? Why are you selling?
Yeah.
Right? if you're selling because you're downsizing and you need to get into a home that is more comfortable, and you have to buy on the other end, then whatever you are not earning here, you're not going to be spending on the next property,
Yeah.
right? So if you basically make a decision that is on par with whatever you were doing here, you're going to do the same thing on the other end, then it evens itself out,
Yeah. That's true. I
right?
think very true. Yep.
That's if you're selling here and you're buying there.
Yeah.
But then if you are also, let's say you're selling here and then you're not buying, which basically means, okay, you're not capturing all the equity that you think you have here, right? And you need that money, let's say, for retirement or for whatever it is. But here's the thing. If you don't make this move right now, and if the market continues to go down, right? And for another 3 years, the market is going to continue to behave this way. Are you able to hang on for another 3 years, put your life on hold with no guarantees that you're going to end up getting more money?
Yeah. Hmm.
And you know what happens if you get out of this situation, you get into a much better situation, and then since you are now in a much better situation, you have some other opportunities that are being created that will make you that will give you the opportunity to make more money. Wouldn't that make sense?
Yeah. 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 That would make sense. And what about, little tips on just the home itself? Is there improvements that a seller should consider to make before going on the market to increase their value of their home? Is there any little things that could you know, help their home sell?
Well, one of those things that always pays off is paint, right?
That's the cheapest
um,
option, right?
Cheapest option and the best option.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're better off, depending on the condition of the house. Sometimes you're better off doing nothing. Like, if the house is so far gone and has so much deferred maintenance that, if you fix this, it's almost like, those cartoons that you can think of, that, there's water coming out of every side, and you put
Right.
your finger on this hole, and there's this hole coming out of water coming out of it, and then you plug another finger in there, and then there's another hole in there, and then you put your toe onto the next to the third hole, and then the other one comes in, and then you're holding on to the whole
Yeah.
bucket of water, and there's water coming out of everywhere. So, a real fixer, it would be like that. Where would you start and where would you finish? You
Yeah.
just can't do it, right? So in a case like that, I think you're better off just basically price it in a way that it's enticing, that would create a number of interested buyers, and then even in a slow market like we are right now, still create that auction effect, and then sell accordingly. You may not be getting as much as you would be getting in 2021, but still you get out from under it, and then you put that money into better investments, and you make your money on the next opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it's something in the middle, though, if it's something in the middle where the house is not completely a fixer, then I think you want to put some paint, some other effort in it. Maybe let's talk about the kitchen. Your cabinets might be you might be able to get away with the same cabinets, but maybe put a coat of paint on the cabinets, maybe change the countertops, maybe change the carpet. It all depends on the condition and how much you can, the potential of the house to get it to a point where actually brings you some value in doing whatever
Yeah.
renovations that you are doing.
Yeah. And what are some things that usually come up on, once you do find your buyer and it's very hard finding a buyer right now, trying to maintain them. What are some things that usually come up in those requests from the buyer, like requests for repairs that you could maybe already have fixed beforehand so that they don't come up when you are finally under contract? Would you consider having already like, termite reports done, termite work done, maybe, if you can?
Um, I would say you definitely want to have your reports prepared first.
Yeah.
Even doing a home inspection ahead of time would be an advisable you
Yeah.
know thing to do, right? You have a home inspection that's been done up front, then you can put that in front of the seller, in front of the buyer, potential buyer. And
Yeah.
again, it depends on the condition of the property,
Yeah.
right? If the property is in a poor condition and you have a home inspection done and you put that home inspection in front of the potential buyer, and then you're able to say, okay, I am looking for an as is type of buyer, then then that is a very smart practice that you can do,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
And that way you can look for an as is sale, and as is built into a California contract that we use, right?
Yeah.
But even if the as is language is there, that does not mean that the buyer's right to ask for repairs is waived.
Yeah. Hmm.
But the more, like you say, the more that you can prepare the buyer, the better off you are, because then that way you don't have to have a whole lot of intense negotiations over repairs, or you can shorten those times, or you can do that negotiation upfront.
Yeah. 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 100%.
So
So, I mean, I think we covered pretty much a good amount on why our home's sitting, right?
why the homes are
Me.
sitting,
Yeah.
buy some well.
Any other things you might want to tell, our audience out there on to what they do with their homes, or you know?
Well, and we're talking about marketing and poor marketing or strong marketing. I think these days you really have to make sure that you are showcasing the house really really well. That you are following up. You're reaching out to every agent that's in the area, and you so not only you present the house on the internet in its best light, but you also work with a lot of agents that are working the area and market the house to those agents, because those are the agents that are working with buyers out there. And one of our good friends, Austin, is saying hello, hello, hello. So hello, hello, hello back, Austin. Thank you for joining us and watching our podcast. We always enjoy when we have viewers as we are broadcasting. And if you have any questions, please let us know. We're always here for you, and love to create more value for you. Now going back to marketing being so important. Well, if you look at the pie of where buyers are coming from, buyers are either on the internet, in which case you want to present present the property in its best light, or they're coming through other agents, private showings. And in my opinion, even when you are creating the best light on the property on the internet, you still want those homes to go in front of buyers agents and create private showings, because those agents have those buyers pre-approved. They're action ready buyers, and that's what you want to get through and create traffic for that type of clientele. And then of course open houses. In open houses, it doesn't mean that you advertise, you set out signs, you get people through open houses, that anybody that walks through the open house is going to buy that house, right? But at the same time, you never know. You never know who's looking out there and who's going to look at that property and get excited and is going to make an offer. So
Yeah,
those three areas, I think, is where really your buyers are coming from.
yeah, I agree.
So, so yeah, that and our friend is saying that this information actually pertains to their current situation. So I'm actually happy that that we're speaking to those situations. So that's really really good. Now, talking about a success story, I'm thinking of a particular case where we actually got in. There was roof damage due to leaks. There was flooring that was patchy, and the house just did not look well. There was signs of mold on the ceiling, and not very consistent on the ground.
Yeah.
So what we did was we basically got together with our client, figured out the source of the roof leak, fixed the roof leak, and then repaired the damage that was underneath. And then we also got a couple of different estimates from different professionals, and uniformed the flooring throughout the house, and then did some painting and prepared the property for sale. We did some minimal staging, and minimal staging is something that we include in our services. And Santi, you want to talk about the particulars of what's minimal staging? What do we consider minimal staging?
I mean, we'll put like a couple like, chairs, some like things in the bathroom, some pots with flowers, stuff for the kitchen, some fake fruit, on the kitchen table, stuff like that, bases, a table with some lamp, a tent lamp, for the bedroom, stuff like that.
So it's essentially what we're doing is we're doing stuff that can be done by one person. Once you need to have two people move in furniture from one place to the next, that is full on staging. And for that we have, of course, professionals that we work with as well that are stagers. But in that case, we're hiring those stagers and we are paying them to go through and do a full on staging. The
Yeah.
minimal staging that we're talking about is what we do as part of included in our services, which essentially is like you mentioned, stuff that can be carried with one person and not too elaborate. The elaborate part, where do we bring in the elaborate part in our pictures and our images?
I mean, there's virtual staging that we do, and
Right,
then we
exactly.
enhance our pictures so we make sure they look good.
Exactly. All right. Well, that I would say sums it up. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we covered a good amount of tips and things to do, and basically gave them all the information that's needed to be able to sell your home. So
Right. One thing that I think is also important to mention before we move on is speed to lead. Right. If someone is interested in your property, you've got to make sure that you capture them and you move quickly on that. Don't wait and say, oh well, I'm not in a hurry and I can wait. No, you can't wait. The longer the property sits on the market, the less money you're going to get for it. And house buying is highly emotional. So when they make an offer, they're sizzling hot. They're sizzling hot. They're picturing themselves in. They're emotional about the property. They're dreaming about it. They're measuring for their dining table. They're super excited. They're getting married in the place. They're having babies in the place. And if you make them wait too long, all of these wonderful thoughts are going to slowly dissipate
yeah,
and go away. And if the wonderful thoughts go away, so will the dollars
yeah,
that they're going to pay you on the place.
yeah. There's
So
no second guessing.
So hurry up and take the offer as quickly as you can before it turns into dust.
Yep. Could not agree more.
So, okay, very good. Well, then let's now get to the business part. If you are thinking of buying or selling anywhere in the US, there's my phone number. And along with that, there's my partner's phone number. There's
There it
Santi's
is.
phone number there. And if you are watching this on Instagram, there's our Instagram handle. Please give us a follow there. And also, if you want to visit us on our website, there's our website there. We also hang out on Facebook or via email. And and that's all the information that we want to share. So
YouTube
beyond
too.
that, YouTube, if you're on YouTube, we really appreciate it if you give us a thumbs up and also subscribe to our channel. So as we are posting new podcasts, you have a chance to be notified and can join us. And as always, we appreciate your business. We appreciate your referrals. And thank you so much for joining us and make it a great day.
Bye, everyone. See you on the next one.